What up, fam? What up? This is Chris with Food for Your Thoughts. I hope you've been enjoying your day so far. We are back continuing our presentation series with these universal spiritual laws, our fourth and final set, and we will continue with the laws of higher frequency, right? And today, guys, it's all about the spiritual law perspective. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to click that like, subscribe button down below. I greatly appreciate you, okay? So it's all about, our own personal hero's journey, our purpose, our mission, our life path, figuring things out, right? Unlearning and relearning, right? Because we know there's always more to know, right? So as always, our purpose and mission require learning a whole bunch of life lessons to gain that experience and knowledge for our soul growth. So it's never too late to rewrite our story, the past, present, and future, just having it right now. So the things that you're doing right now is having an influence on rewriting your past and dictating your future. So are you paying attention? All right. So each and every presentation, you should at least have like one to three takeaways, right? All right, so don't waste your time. So as you grow through your own personal transformation atonement process, share your knowledge and wisdom with people, help people level up. The universe gonna hook you up with extra kudos and credits, okay? And also teach people to to help themselves. That way they can create generational wealth, a generational legacy, right? And you guys are the change agents, all right, to break all these generational curses and to bring in the new information, okay? That's why it's the information age, the age of Aquarius. But trust your own intuition, your own inner voice, your own energy. I'm here to remind you of your greatness. And by now, your thoughts, beliefs, words, emotions, actions are always going to equal your reality and your result. Please keep your money in check, okay? Learn about money. So if you're having a problem manifesting money, go back to my law of prosperity presentation. I give you all the cheat codes on there, and check the description area and play that cash flow game at least for 90 days so you can have that money mindset, so you can have a better understanding and understanding of how this cash flow and capitalism work, okay? Please do that. Invest in yourself. All right, so with that being said, before we jump into it, guys, I know you guys are being the cause in your life instead of waiting for the effect to happen, right? You creating your own luck. You've been using these 7 hermetic principles. Even if you don't know what you're doing, you've been investigating, testing things out, and each and every day you've been very intentional to figure this stuff out and basically, to have a better understanding of, how these things actually work and how to apply them in your life. You also been learning more about your name on your own, figuring things out, your life path number. If you need help, go back to some of my previous presentations. I'll walk you through that, even how to calculate it. And also look into your natal chart, astroseek.com. They'll give you some additional tools to put in your toolbox to gain more knowledge of self-discovery, okay? So let's go ahead and move into it, right? So it's all about perspective. So as we, start on up, we got perception versus perspective. Like, how do you see things? You know what I'm saying? Are you seeing the bigger picture, or are you just, seeing things just from your point of view? And that's where we're at right now as a whole, all over the planet, right? And then leading on in, the intuition comes very close to clairvoyance, right? It appears to be the extrasensory perception of reality, right? It's that, it's that extra sense. So now, when people talking to you or you're in their space, you can see, beneath the lies, so you can, people can hide behind all these different religious titles and job titles and stuff like that. But when you tap into the spirit and intuition, you can see people for who they truly are at the core. All right. But spiritual vision requires that, what we see with our eyes of our heart will be more real to us than what we see with our natural eyes. We must see what is invisible to others. All right. So on this as you increase your overall energy, frequency, and vibration, you'll be able to tap into what I just mentioned to you before with your intuition. All right. Let's lead in. Time is an illusion, guys. Man-made construct. Okay, so time is not linear. It is simultaneous. Everything, including the past and future, are all happening right now. Past lives are actually parallel lives. Okay, time is a man-made 3D construct. In higher dimensions, there's no such thing as time, because we experience everything happening simultaneously in the now as one. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so as we lead on in, how are you seeing things right now? Are you seeing things, your life half empty, half full? Or are you seeing, the overall picture is half empty, half full? Or do you just see the bigger picture as, a glass of water that need to be finished off, and also somebody need to clean up after themselves, right? And also over here, this has been going on for a long time. So, from one perspective, right, the person see a 6. The other perspective, the other person see a 9. But when you look at the bigger picture, like it's just a number, and we both need to be, men about this, right, and pick the thing up off the ground so we can clean up Mother Nature, right, and keep it moving. All right, what does the winner get? Exactly nothing. Okay, and before we move on in. To live on a day-to-day basis is insufficient. We need to transcend. We need, transport, escape. We need meaning, understanding, overstanding, and explanation. We need to see overall patterns in our life, and because the unexamined life isn't worth living, right? We leaving no stone unturned. We need hope, the sense of a future, the freedom to get beyond ourselves in state of mind that allows us to rise above an immediate surroundings and see the beauty and value of the world that we live in, overall. And as we lead into this law of perspective, it is a narrow mind which cannot look at a subject from various points of views. And that's what that's what we have right now, from childhood. A lot of people been preconditioned to function off of one book and one way of living and one set of, persons, perspective, instead of looking at life from all various perspectives from all the different species on the planet, right? So it's that narrow mind which cannot look at a subject from various perspectives. So instead of using the entire library, they stuck in one book. Don't let that be you. So use the entire library so you can expand, your knowledge base and your research, so you can synthesize everything, so you can have a better point of view, right? So you can see things for what they are. As above, so below. As within, so without. As the universe, so the soul. We all still have that truth still within us. It's in our DNA, right? It doesn't really matter, what I'm saying, how I'm saying it, but you can feel that energy. So it's not found in books to any given extent. It has been passed along from lips to ear, kind of like what we're doing now. And when it was written down at all, its meaning was veiled in terms of alchemy and astrology. So only those possessing the keys could read it, all right? This is taken from the 3 initiates, the Kabbalion. So I'm here to remind you of your greatness, and don't be afraid to unlock the universe within you, because you are your own universe. Okay, so with anything we talk about, ladies and gentlemen, gods and goddesses, right, it's all about we take one of the 7 hermetic principles of polarity, right? Good side, not so good side, things we can work on, things we doing great at, but we can still get better, right? So we know for a fact, let's talk about time and this perspective. So when it comes to, the law of perspective, time is not linear. Your mental state changes your perception of time. So if you are unhappy or bored, time slows down, right? If you are afraid, time seems to just stand still. But when you feel happy, excited, and interested, time seems to be, to really speed up. You're like, man, where did the time go when you're having fun, right? So the lower our frequency, the slower the perception of time. So people engaged in high vibration activity find that time, passes real quick, like I mentioned. So time can be transcended, right? So people with certain psychic abilities are able to tune in to past lives or into the future. So different mediums would tune, into different times. In dreams, we often move into different time, realities. All right, that's what you're actually doing in your dream state. All right, so size also depends on our perception. So like when we were children, everything seemed so much bigger, than they do as adults, right? Like right now, right? So a problem which seems enormous and insurmountable, right, in the middle of the night often seems quite manageable, soon as we wake up in the day, right? Now the challenge is the same, but our perspective has changed. So as we move on here, the person with that psychic vision who sees fairies, elves, and other spirit creatures, perceive a more expanded vision of the universe than the one, whose third eye is closed, or they have a calcified pineal gland. So if you need help, decalcifying your pineal gland, please, it's on YouTube. Ralph Smart and many other people, they'll help walk you through how to decalcify your pineal gland so you can see me for who I am. And that way you can, it'll help you interface in your own inner reality, okay? I hope that makes sense. So look that up. Now, someone, who is haunted by a negative entity, right, will have very different understanding from the person who is touched by angels, spirit guides, and light beings. So each person handle their challenges, differently according to their level of consciousness. That's why your level of consciousness is important. That's why society, keep pumping fear to keep keep people stuck in the boogeyman, the devil that nobody never seen, right? And you never grow up, and you no matter how old you are, you'll be stuck in a childlike mindset. I hope that makes sense. And that's where we at right now with many of our relatives and family members and people we care about. It's like, some people never grow up mentally. Right? So let's move on forward. So with that being said, each person, they handle their challenges differently according to their level of consciousness. Like I mentioned, all depends upon your perspective. So there is no judgment. There's only awareness that everyone has a different reality. I hope you hear that. So if you judge someone or, something or someone, it is time to reframe your perspective. So when you judging somebody, you basically judging yourself. So, that you basically not focused on your purpose, because when you know your purpose, you know that everything that you see in your outer reality is a mirror reflection of you. All right, so you should see the good in everything. That's what it's all about. So humanity as a whole judges suicide. They condemn it as a wicked or a weak situation, right? So on the Christ path, right, as it is perceived, someone longing for more love and responding to the call of home, right? Torture can be perceived as evil, or as a desire to learn compassion. Sex can be seen as immoral, or as longing to express love. Like war is terrible, or an opportunity to find courage and strength, perceived by others. The horrible person can be seen as a threat, or as someone who is teaching you a lesson. Someone who is pushing your buttons, is serving you by bringing you unresolved feelings, to your attention, of your own doubt. Right now, the person who pushes the buttons of millions, kind of like a Hitler or anybody else, I don't want to say their name, serves to offer lessons to all of those who are affected. So what am I saying? Every person has a human aspect which merely matches their divine perfection. All right, we will continue to struggle until we can see the divine flame in all things, people included, just like me. So no matter what, suit that we have on, copper color, creamy, orangey looking, right, whatever, green, you get what I'm saying. See the good in all things. Okay, so guys, this has been my my takeaway when it comes to spiritual law perspective. See things, see the bigger picture. All right, some things are not really meant to be argued over. There's no, that's wasted energy. It's pointless to argue anyway, because why? What does the winner get? And then does it even matter? Will it matter like 5 years from now? So it's a lot of things you got to take in consideration when you're looking at perspective. Okay, but this has been my takeaway. We will be continuing with this presentation series with the next presentation of the law of gratitude. Okay, and as always, our purpose and mission require learn a whole bunch of life lessons to gain that experience and knowledge for our soul growth. You can rewrite your story today. Do it now. Time isn't real. All right, it's all about what are you doing right now. You can rewrite your past. You can rewrite your future. In the now. All right, so invest in yourself. As you grow spiritually, mentally, emotionally, share your knowledge and wisdom with people. If they're open to receive, of course. Don't beat them upside the head with this stuff. And also teach them to help themselves so they can help generations to come. All right, sharing is caring, but always trust your own intuition. Don't believe nothing I'm saying, but trust your own intuition, your own inner voice, your own energy, and do your own research. And now you know that your thoughts, beliefs, words, emotions, and actions equal your reality and your results, not your job. When you know better, you do better, right? So if you need to learn about money, go back to that spiritual law of prosperity. All the cheat codes are there to get you going, get you some working knowledge, and get that money mindset, right? Because the universe wants you to have your moolah on your spiritual path, all right? Because you got a purpose and a mission to fulfill, and I want to help you see that through. Okay, but keep your money in check. This is Chris with Food for Your Thoughts. Until next time, stay grateful and focused, fam. Peace.